Well, that was a pretty laid-back race for Martinsville, but it was pretty decent. Let's go ahead and analyze this whole video here. What's going on, everybody? Cool 200 here, back with the NASCAR Lounge. Welcome, everybody. I hope you all had or having a wonderful day. But we are here to talk about the Martinsville race that happened yesterday. And for Martinsville, as you heard in the intro, it's pretty laid back. Very laid back. Not too much wrecking. There was a lot of beating and banging, though. And I'm going to start off with that. At the very beginning of the race, Joey Logano, your pole sitter, led the first few laps. Then Brad Keselowski would end up getting to the back bumper and moving him out of the way early on. And Brad Keselowski would lead for a good portion of the race right there. But then trouble struck, the first real piece of trouble that we had all day. Michael McDowell would cut a tire, go up into the wall. I think a brake caliper, or not a brake caliper, but like the brakes got hot and it melted the tire to go flat. And he would hit the wall. But he would ultimately fix the car and continue. After that, it was pretty laid back, except for the two front leaders. They were chasing each other down. It was a very good battle between Chase Elliott and Brad Keselowski. It was a very, very heated, intense battle. But Brad Keselowski would prevail and win stage number 1. After that, everything would kind of go smoothly. From there, we had some pit stops, not too much happened. And then, an axle breaks on a car, slides up the track. People are going up the track, out of the groove. It is crazy stuff. And the axle came off of Ross Chastain. He would go to the garage and ultimately go 70 laps down before returning and finishing not very well. But that team is pretty mediocre at best. So, yeah, that was interesting to see everybody slide up the track. I think Clint Boyer slid up, Kyle Larson. It was crazy. Chase Elliott even slid up the track. But then, yeah, axle braking. You don't see that too much in NASCAR anymore. After that, nothing else would really happen, and Brad Keselowski would dominate the second stage and ultimately win the stage. So he's the stage winner for both stage 1 and 2. Now, at the second stage end of, we have pit cycling, of course, and Denny Hamlin, my pick to win Martinsville, got caught with a uncontrolled tire violation. He would start in the back of the pack at P20. He would ultimately come back to finish the race 5th, but not good for Denny Hamlin. After that, you saw another wreck. It was a very small one. No damage really caused to either cars. Ty Dillon would go down into a corner, and William Byron would pretty much cut across this corner, cut right across Ty Dillon's nose, spinning him down right at the end of the turn. I don't really remember what turn it was. I think it was turns 1 and 2. William Byron would just cut down in front of Ty Dillon, and a spin, he would get it back going without hitting the wall, and he would ultimately continue. Then you have the problems with Clint Boyer. Not 1, but 2 speeding penalties in this race. Very unfortunate for that team. They would actually end up finishing P7 at the end of it. I know I'm kind of looking around here, around the screen. That's because I actually have notes for this race, because there was a lot happening. But yeah, doing my research for this one. Jotting down some stuff. But yeah, after Clint Boyer's penalties, Eric Jones would ultimately blow 2 tires on the left side. I don't think there was a caution for that. He would make it safely around pit road, but what a crazy incident. You don't see people blow 2 tires on the same side. But he had some major contact with Kyle Larson, I think at the restart, and it would tear his front fender up, and it would the metal would hit the tire and completely cut it, and then the back tire I think had a big tire rub, so it would ultimately cut that one as well. Eric Jones I think would repair and finish terribly, so unfortunate for Eric Jones. And then you had the exciting moment where Chase Elliott takes the lead from Brad Keselowski and at least becomes the third, I think, driver to lead the race, because Joey Logano led first, Brad dominated the race, and then Chase Elliott came and stopped the Penske train for a little while and led some laps. But ultimately, I think a restart would allow Brad to take back over the lead. And that would be because Matt Tifft, the lovely Matt Tifft. Oh, I have many things to say about Matt Tifft, but that is not for this video. But yes, Matt Tifft would cut a tire pretty much identical to his teammate Michael McDowell, and he would go up into the outside wall, causing another caution, which would result in a restart. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Ross Chastain is stopped at the high side of the track, causing another restart. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if his brakes went out. I don't know if the car blew up, but there was a lot of smoke. He completely stopped. I guess dove in too hard. I don't know. I was kind of guessing that maybe the axle problem was a little bigger than what everybody expected. But the announcers didn't say anything about it. I don't know. But yeah, Ross Chastain stopped up at the very high end of one of the corners, and ultimately would be finally out of the race. After all that, we had a great 3-car battle for the lead. It was Brad Keselowski in first, Chase Elliott second, and Kyle Busch third. Ryan Blaney was sort of in the mix for a little bit, but then he fell back. It was just those 3. Kyle Busch tried his best to pass Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott wouldn't let him, and at the end, Chase Elliott had a great car, great run, but just didn't have it, and that ultimately led Brad Keselowski to get his second win of the season, 3rd overall for Penske. So with all that said, my reaction to the race is pretty chill, pretty laid back. There was tons of beating and banging. I think Alex Bowman had tons of damage. Obviously, Eric Jones had tons of damage. Bubba Wallace got ran into a lot. Brad Keselowski was pretty clean, though, because he was out front. He had actually really good car. Led over 400 laps, which is crazy. Yeah, really strong car on both ends, short and long run. He had a great launch off the corners. Guess he knew how to put a good race together, huh? So there you go. My overall take on the race, though, is it was okay for a Martinsville race. You expect, some wrecks, but it's Martinsville. You're not going very fast. The only way you're really going to wreck someone if you bump them too hard, or if they get a flat tire, which we saw tons of flat tiring, or if you cut someone wrong, which William Byron did. So overall, it was an okay race. It was an okay race. I loved the beating and banging, and I loved they didn't talk about aero too much, because at Martinsville, you're not aero dependent. So with that being said, let's go ahead and look at the top 10, which is going to be boom right there. Yes, I have put a lovely display right there to look at the top 10. I have my phone right here, though, which is the light. So obviously first, Brad Keselowski, like I said, put on a great show. Not much to talk about there. Second was Chase Elliott. He also had a great race, great car. I knew Chase Elliott would be strong. I didn't think he'd be this strong. But don't count Chase Elliott out at Martinsville anymore, guys. And of course, third is Kyle Busch, the Candyman, always strong at Martinsville as well. So, yeah, not a good surprise there. He actually struggled through the beginning of the race, fell back. I mean, they made a joke that he was going backwards. So, but made up for it. And then you have Ryan Blaney in fourth, also had a very strong car. Definitely the second strongest Penske car. Julie Gunnoff fell way back. Didn't even finish, I don't think. Yeah, he didn't even finish in the top 10. So, unfortunate for them, but Ryan Blaney had a great car. Looked like he could lead some laps there at the beginning, but ultimately finished fourth, so I guess I'll take it. Denny Hamlin fifth, I already mentioned that. Had a crazy day. Had a long run car. Actually, had a pretty good, decent car, honestly. He was driving to the front, looked like he could be a big competitor. Ultimately, a tire violation cost him. And finished fifth. Kevin Harvick. Didn't hear too much about him. Besides a joke with him and Clint Boyer having twins, pretty much twinsy cars. But other than that, really didn't hear much about him. I mean, yeah, they showed him on TV, past people, but I don't think he was a big contender. Kevin Harvick has actually kind of struggled this season, which is kind of what I like to see, honestly, because last year was just Kevin Harvick all day. So, yeah, he'll finish sixth. Behind him is his twin, Clint Boyer. Like I said, had 2 pit road speeding penalties. One in section 10 and the other, I think, entering pit road, but I have no idea. Great bounce back for this team, actually. P7 is more than what I would love for a crazy day like that. Then we had Martin Truex Jr. in 8th. Looked like he had a long run car as well, but ultimately those last few laps were, I guess, not very good for him, and he'll finish 8th. He's never been good at road or not road courses. He is actually good at road courses, but doesn't look like he's very good at short tracks. So just another big goose egg for Martin Truex Jr. on those short tracks. And then 9th, the outside pole sitter is Eric Almirola. He had a strong car all day, beautiful car actually. Ran with the competitors, looked like he could be a very big competitor himself, but ultimately fell back, finished P9, and behind him is this another Stewart Haas teammate, Daniel Suarez, and he would finish 10th. Had a pretty decent car all day, pretty much ran from 8th to 15th, so not really surprised he finished 10th. But there you go, guys. That is the analysis for Martinsville. A lot of things that went on. There's my little list that I put together. As you can see, had to. I figured more than that would happen at Martinsville, but I guess not. So just wanted to remember everything. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully I edit this video at least decent. I took a lot of cuts there, so we'll find out. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Tomorrow, I do have a video coming out, but it's very controversial. So if you see the title and you're like, then I suggest not watching it. But if you do, stay tuned, because it's pretty important for YouTube Nation. And it's time to do my part. So thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys there. Peace out.